bleeding yourself dry, you fucking sicko.
Oh, okay. The hypocrisy in that statement is rich. It is rich.
Shut your goddamn mouth.
Fuck you, man. Episode 17, we're live. What's going on, everyone? Jay and I are obviously arguing over our poor financial decisions. He wants to spend an exuberant amount of money on little, I don't know, what do you want to call them? Ships? Is that what they are?
On data. On a whole bunch of data compiled.
You're buying a bunch of shit ton of files. I said miles. Files that get you nothing.
Yeah.
At least my pop vinyls exist. I mean, they're real. They're tangible.
Yeah, good thing you got a girl, because otherwise you would never get pussy having those in your house.
Hey, man. For the kids. They're for the kids.
Right. You would never get a woman in your house for pussy. Is that better?
Well, she wouldn't know until she was here.
Okay. And then what? And then
what?
what?
No, then I play a strategic game of making sure she doesn't enter that one room in the house.
Oh, okay. And then if she's about to, you Cosby her? Is that how it works?
Whoa, that's weird. Calm down, guy. It's a family show.
Yeah, man. Families do it too, I think.
Do what?
Cosby people?
No. Families don't do that.
No. I've seen too many scary movies, bro.
Bad people do that. You know what bad people also do? They lie to you. Speaking of liars, let's get into let's get into it. No Man's Sky. No Man's fucking Sky.
Oh, a segue of the fucking century right there. You should get an award for that one.
Award? No. You know who should get an award? The fucking developers for No Man's Sky. Who are they? Hello Games? Hey, Hello Games. You guys are listening? What the fuck happened? What happened? I mean, apologies for the long-winded introduction. We really didn't know how to start this show because we're kind of starting on a downer and hopefully going up from there. Man,
I don't know. We'll make it work. We get it popping.
No, you can't get this popping. This is a terrible subject to talk about, honestly. Like when I was texting you earlier, Jay, I was pissed as shit when I started reading and listening about everything that's kind of going on with this game.
When you read about the injustices done by video game developers to the consumers, you fucking find that soapbox that you stowed away, and you jump right on it immediously.
Stowed away. First of all, it's with me at all times.
Gotcha.
It's like what I told all. Yes, exactly. It's like what I told all of you on Xbox Live. Presentation's important. So is this. All right, remember, kids, always be half chub.
Salute your boy.
A little bit of background.
You shake my hand half staff. Don't you ever approach me without half staff.
At New York Comic Con, make sure you got half a chub for him. But yeah, a little bit of background. So No Man's Sky, developed by Hello Games, released on August 9th of this year. On
it's
PS4
been that
and
long
PC.
Already, huh?
It's almost been a month. And we're finally talking about it. And we probably should have brought this up a while ago, but to be honest with you, this wasn't even on my radar just because it sounded too good to be true from the beginning, and it turns out that a lot of people were justified in having their reservations about this game. Honestly, what kind of sparked my desire to want to talk about it on the show today really came from
me cramming Star Citizen down your throat.
No, not even that. I think that's just is a coincidence. That we'll be able to compare two different games, both of which I'll be flat out I haven't played.
One of which I'm obsessed with.
Yes, No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky shit.
And I know we're gonna come at this game a little hard, but this really comes from the aggregation of just everything I've read thus far. I mean, take it with a grain of salt. Obviously, I haven't played the game. I don't think, Jay, you've played the game.
No. I know better.
But from what I've seen so far, at least warrants the conversation on how everything was approached, what was promised, how to move forward. I mean, the discussion still needs to be had. If anyone who's already spent the $60 for this game wants to reach out to the show, reach out to us on Twitter, PvE Podcast, or send us an email, askpve@gmail.com, and let us know your thoughts on everything we're about to get into. But go ahead.
Well, as far as No Man's Sky goes, like the average video game player probably heard about it maybe a year ago, if if they're like really into it. Otherwise, it just came on. It just went on people's radars like recently. You know what I mean? It just appeared on their radar.
Well,
Like,
yeah, because of the heat it's getting, not because. Go ahead.
exactly. You know, this game, the whole production and development of this game has been talked about for a long time, and the promises they made have been discussed in length by everyone in these like space sci-fi simulator sort of like this genre, you know, that's kind of been coming back. Like the Space Sim Simulator was around a long time ago, and it's been coming back with Elite Dangerous, Star Citizen, No Man's Sky. 3 games of which are completely different and unique in their own right. One of which is complete and out, Elite Dangerous. One of which came out and was a flop, and Star Citizen, which is in its like 7-year-old infancy. Like, it's
Is it
still
really
a baby,
been around that
right?
long?
It's still a baby. I think it's like 5 years. But
That's a while. It's early access, right? Is that
yeah.
how we're gonna treat it?
Yeah. Okay, we'll get into
Well,
that
I
in
mean,
a
I guess
moment.
we'll get into it, but yeah,
But-
I guess long story short, Star Citizen seems to be kind of finished, but like they are phasing things in on a very periodic basis.
Well, the point I'm trying to make is that among all these games, No Man's Sky, everyone who's in the know with it, like who was watching its progress, knew they were gonna fail at what they promised.
You think so?
No. I know so. Like when I got into Star Citizen, a whole bunch of like avenues opened up that I had no idea existed, like Elite Dangerous and No Man's Sky, and games that I would have never touched before, but because I want to scratch that itch, I started doing research on those games. And there are people like YouTubers who kind of like this is their main focus, these games and all that. And they discussed in length, and I listened as they discussed in length about the absurd promises that were made. And the people who were doing this were even like, oh, like they can't pull this shit off. Like, to be completely honest, they can't pull this off. But what they're going for is very unique, and what they're going for can change the future of gaming. You know what I mean? So
what were they going for? I know I kept on interrupting you, but I think at this point, for anybody who hasn't heard anything or doesn't know anything about No Man's Sky, we might want to set the ground floor for at least what the promises were, or at least what the scope of kind of what we're upset about is, right?
Okay.
So
yeah. Well, No Man's Sky, they wanted to create a universe, okay, of millions and millions of possibilities that would cater to all gamers of all walks of life. You know, like if you wanted to be in space and shoot people up in space, you could do that. If you wanted to explore space and go from one place to another and mine materials, you could do that. If you could go onto a planet and, I don't know, do research or something like that, you could do that. You know what I mean? And every planet was unique, and this was supposed to be a world that was so large and so enormous that, you know, that it would take a long time. From what they said, it would take a long time between, like, if two people would find each other at all, because the universe was so large.
All right, so let's pause right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I've heard a couple of different conflicting, I wouldn't call them opinions, but let's call them opinions. There are some people who are adamantly defending the developer, or Hello Games, on this point, related to multiplayer. Some of them are some of them are saying this wasn't supposed to be a multiplayer game.
It wasn't.
And then there are other people who are, I guess, attacking that group by saying that, I don't know that gentleman's name. There's this one bearded fellow who kind of seems to be the face of the game. I honestly, I should have written his name down.
Bearded
Personally,
fellow,
I don't
Bad
care.
News Baron. Is it?
No, I have no idea. No, the actual the main, one of the main, I don't know if he's the I don't know if he's the lead guy for Hello Games. I don't know what his name is, but he's the one who's essentially been communicating a lot of this information. He did a couple of interviews. Again, apologies for not knowing his name, but he did a lot of interviews where he essentially was alluding to the fact that there may be some multiplayer component of it, or that there may be some way to kind of not invade like you do in Dark Souls, but there's some interaction between say whatever you're doing, whatever I'm doing. But
Yeah.
there didn't seem to be a clear-cut answer, like a line drawn in the sand that said, "Hey, this is what's happening." So
And that was a smart move on his part.
well, before we go ahead and crucify him on that, let's not. Okay, if it was supposed to be a multiplayer game, if it's not supposed to be a multiplayer game, it was so vague that I don't think we can sit here and actually make a proper argument for either one. However, there are other things that we can be very critical of. Big shout out to Angry Joe because honestly, a lot of this information is from what I gathered from his review, and big shout out to the people on all of the different No Man's Sky subreddits, and essentially, it's just for me, it's more of an aggregation of data. Essentially, pretty much what this game really is, just a bunch of gathering, but whatever.
Yep.
If you go on Reddit's r/games subreddit, there is a thread specifically titled "Where's the No Man's Sky we were sold on?" A big list. Go and check that out. I mean, we're talking pages and pages of people going out there, essentially, listening to what the developer had promised, and then, based on their own anecdotal experience, essentially compiling all these different experiences to see if there is some data after a certain point. Is there some data that really kind of proves their point or kind of validates what the developer is saying? Because it's difficult. Mm-hmm. I would say it's difficult to bash them in a situation where essentially the game is just generating stuff, right? This is all randomly generated, similar to what
procedural generation. Yeah. And procedural generation doesn't necessarily mean random generation, but this is the route that they took with the game.
But the point being that your experience and my experience are going to be two very different experiences, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So if, my anecdotal experiences won't necessarily be the best way to judge this game. So I may have gotten a shitty hand, and I got a bunch of shitty planets, and I got, I was that like 0.001% probability that everything would be boring, right? Versus like, say, you could have gotten like all the cool shit. But from reading that thread, from listening to everyone, I have honestly seen more people complaining about the fact that there isn't any there's no factions like that were promised.
Like they were promised, yeah.
There were no in-space battles that you could go in as, not a mercenary, but you'd kind of go in, pick a faction, pick a side, fight. Like you'd kind of, almost like in Fallout, when you have these like random NPC encounters, right? So you'd have something like that. You'd be able to go in and interact and be, make alliances with these factions, and essentially there would be a secondary story that kind of bubbles out of that, right? Or that there'd be some variation between the factions themselves, right? Some of them would be like any group of people. Some would be more, more violent, or some of them would value,
and depending on the gameplay that you
were
were going for, the person you were trying to be, one would like kind of you'd want to side with one to make things work in your favor. Yeah,
exactly. So apparently people aren't seeing that.
No.
And is it something where does the algorithm need to be tweaked in order for that to show up? Like, is it actually there?
No. I honestly, man, they ran out of time. They were saying, so basically the people who were saying everything that was going to be in this game were like Donald Trump, just talking out of their ass, bro. like they had no
triggered
self-control. I don't give a fuck. Anyone who feels any sort of way about it can feel that fucking way about it. Too fucking bad. These guys, like, they knew what they were able to do. What they were able to do was actually make procedural generation work. Procedural generation is new, man. Like, this isn't something that was like, oh, like we've had this around for a long time. Let's just implement it into this game. No, like this is recent developments. You know what I mean? Like, this game was never something like that amazed me, because from the very beginning, I knew that it wasn't gonna be this. It wasn't gonna have these factions. It wasn't gonna have this like freedom that you feel from playing a game. It's basically like I don't know, like Spore. You know what I mean? It's a whole bunch of different types of like games put together into one, and it's weird. It's like you can fly in space or you can walk on land, but like everything's just random and there's no real point or reason to it. It's just happening. I was never excited about this game, but what I was excited for was the advancements that they were making with procedural generation and how this was going to translate over to the game that I cared about, Star Citizen.
Sure.
So I was never mad at them for anything they did because I never expected much from them. And I was never invested in them, you know?
Okay. So
I was really happy for what I understood would come out of it. And I don't know, I didn't follow it too much more in the past 6 months, I want to say, to know of all this stuff that was said, because when I first started like doing my research on it, none of this stuff like factions and all this multiplayer aspects and all that, none of that was talked about at all. It was never brought up. And people knew that this game was on a timeline. You know what I mean? Like they had to meet a deadline.
Okay, so I think we're talking about something that's very important. One, everybody obviously do your research before you pre-order a game. I think it's something we've talked about and something I preach about, but sometimes don't do.
Right.
But to be quite frank, I'm not here most of the time shitting or bitching about $60 that I spent. I'm bitching because it's a shit product. But whatever, call me a hypocrite if you want. It is what it is. What I would say though, the second point being, other than don't pre-order, I think it comes down to the communication and what type of communication exists and how it's distributed, right? The dissemination of information. A lot of that information you looked up, where was it sourced from? Was it articles? Was it like easily found, or was it something like you really had to go out of your way and to find?
Man, I typed in No Man's Sky on YouTube and got all the videos that my little heart desired.
Okay.
Like it was all
is this
there.
before release or after release?
Way before release.
Okay.
Release. Yeah.
Because what seems to be the argument, or the way the argument's being laid out to most people, is there are a lot of clips being taken from big press conferences. I'm not sure if some of them's E3, if there's, I don't know what other press conferences, honestly, they participated at. I didn't really follow this game, but essentially where they take everything that the developer has said and then try and point out the holes in what they're saying. And honestly,
I feel like the dude was on a stage jump and people were cheering for him. And he's like, and they're gonna be breast, man. Like they're gonna be tits in the game. And they're like, yeah. And he's like, you can fly through them and you can fucking like
that
like
sounds
as long as they
like
were
a fucking
cheering
Rick and
for
Morty
him,
skit,
dude,
man.
he was so pumped.
If that's the case though, like it's tough, right? Because I find myself, I can understand if you went out, pre-ordered a game, and it's like 50% of what was promised, right? Like like take a game like Fallout. I'm not mad I pre-ordered it. I am a little disappointed with the lack of depth that game had. I felt like there was a lot of stuff that was just missing. But at the same time, I think we were talking about this the other night. Even though New Vegas and Fallout 3 like have a special place in my heart, Fallout 4 did do certain things right. They did kind of, take the gauntlet and kind of moved it in a different direction, but it was still forward, right? There was still stuff that I feel like, hey, if they take a little bit of this, they take a little bit of 3 or New Vegas, and you have a decent Fallout 5. But for this, it sounds like there's none of that. There is no meeting them halfway. There is no like, hey, there's half of the stuff that they promise. It's nothing is here. Like it's just it's a glorified gathering game. Like, hey, here are resources.
Wasteland.
I'm gonna go get resources. Hey, let me scan this thing. Let me explore this thing. Okay, I've scanned this thing again. All right, let me go get this like resource again. Like it seems there's no long-term goal.
No, and you know what else? I guess multiplayer was brought up in many ways because, like they said, it would be nearly impossible to find another player because the world was so big. In the first day, somebody found someone's planet like that they discovered in the first day. Okay, so this happened, and then that guy found the other guy. Don't quote me on this, but it might be through Reddit. They found each other, and they were like, "All right, let's meet at the planet," and they were there at the same time, in the same place, but they couldn't see each other. I fully expect this because I knew enough about this to know that they were in two different instances because the game is not multiplayer, right?
Okay.
But people were like really upset about this, you know? Like I can't even find a friend of mine if I wanted to, if we went to the same planet. No, you can't. You're in two different instances of the same world.
So this goes back to what I was saying, the dissemination of information. Like,
Yeah.
At what point is it misleading? Did the comments that the developer make put the idea of multiplayer into people's head? Did people go out and pre-order under the assumption that this game had multiplayer components?
The reason that I did not fall for this game was because I was led to believe that there wouldn't be a multiplayer component. So I don't know from then until now who started running their mouth. Like,
but that came from the developer. I actually heard the
No, I hear
interview.
you. I hear you. I just want to know who from the developer. Like, did they hire Peter Molyneux, the hype man, to work for them? Like, Mr. Fable's gonna have oak trees that you can plant the little, plant the nut and an oak tree's gonna grow.
Don't piss people off. Don't piss people off. I don't know, man. For me, it really comes down to my big takeaway from this whole situation is, actually not even a takeaway. It's the big question that I'm left with is, how do we hold these organizations responsible? And I know what everyone's going to say is, don't pre-order. Use your dollar to hit them where it hurts. The money's already been paid, right? Like, mm-hmm. The people have already essentially completed the transaction, and I don't know Hello Games. I mean, what else have they done?
Nothing that I know of, honestly. I've never heard of anything
Watch them have
else.
done something that we absolutely love, and we're just completely bashing them for no reason. But
dude, basically, this game is like, if you think about it, you're just a space tourist, right?
Sure, but let me. I guess I'll finish what I was trying to say. Is here we go. They made the games, Joe Danger and Joe Danger 2, the movie. Prior to this,
the movie,
Joe Danger 2, the movie.
Okay. But their name is what games? What's their name?
Hello Games. Yeah.
Hello Games, and they made a movie?
No. It's called Joe Danger 2, the movie.
But it's a game.
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. You lost me, and you weren't getting me back. Okay.
Oh, well. So, these guys really don't have a history of being a AAA developer. Obviously, they're small. They're trying to put out a big product. They had really big ambitions. They talked a lot of talk, and they couldn't cash that check. How do you hold them accountable other than, okay, their next game? Like, what about now? Like, what
are you going to do for me now with this? It
wasn't even what they're going to do for you. What do we do now as a community? Obviously, we're having the conversation about it. They're obviously getting a very bad rap about it. Or rep about it. But is this just another instance where you say buyer beware? This is kind of your own fault, or is it? I'm not trying to say class action lawsuit because honestly, I'm not all about the whole hey, let's sue for everything mentality that a lot of people have.
I'm not gonna say class action lawsuit, but class action lawsuit is our words that have been mentioned here on this podcast. Like,
have we said class action lawsuits for
just
what?
now?
Okay.
Now.
Okay. I was like,
stating it. I'm not gonna say class action lawsuit, but
but I just said it. No. It's like, would people have, like, if this went to court, do people have an argument to make in saying that this was incredibly misleading, this is unacceptable? None of what they had described is in this game. This was marketed in a way like do like a lot of the consumer protection laws cover something like this, or can it be? I don't know enough about the law to really come to a conclusion. So I kind of leave this more as an open-ended question to the listeners. Like, at what point is there proper repercussion for something that is misleading?
Okay, so as far as the question about does the consumer have a leg to stand on as far as taking this to court in some way with the judicial system we have, of course, yes, always, no matter what, always, yes.
No, but there's a difference between a frivolous lawsuit. I mean, anybody can go and submit a lawsuit.
But the fact is you can, and this has been done for Kickstarter games and all this other stuff, and it has, wound up working out in the consumer's favor. It has, this does happen. But what I want to know, like, and it can go either way. You never know, like, who's gonna win with these type of things. It's just who makes the best argument, because
or what
it's
precedents
a
have been
gray
set by
area. It's a super gray area.
lawsuits.
Yeah, but at the same time, what I'm more interested in is knowing, okay, when this game was about to come out, did they release anything like any gameplay or anything like that that would show me final complete gameplay of what I was to expect? Because if I see this, and let's say I was told a year ago that this game was going to have this, and I watched the trailer and I'm like, huh, there's a mechanic implemented that completely makes the mechanic that they mentioned before obsolete. Am I going to just assume that mechanic is in there because they said it a year ago, or am I going to go by the trailer that they released and made it blatantly clear what was in the game?
That's
you know what
tough.
I'm saying?
That's tough because it opens up a giant rabbit hole, right?
Absolutely.
It really depends on your point of introduction, right? So if I looked into this game a year ago, because let's be frank, a lot of people who buy games, they may not be as involved in researching as we are, because we try and research for the show. We try and look into things a little bit more than the typical consumer, right?
Well, and it's not just that. Like, there are people who are informed buyers and some people who are not.
Sure, fair enough. But the point being that if I looked at a gameplay footage from a year ago, which they did have, which did show, or I don't know if it's a year ago, but just for the sake of discussion, that did show the space combat, that did show different factions, that did show different NPC interactions as they promised, and that's what they had set, right? Mm-hmm. And then a month, kind of like what you're saying, a month before, they put out either an article, they put out a video, they put out something that says, hey, by the way, everything that was out before, that's not going to be there. Is that enough? Is that enough to kind of wash your hands clean? Because you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, it's hard, right? Because what if that, okay, so that video that explains that everything's going to go away comes out a month beforehand, and I got involved 2 months ago, and what I saw 2 months ago was exactly what was 1 year ago, right? And I'm like, cool, this sounds awesome. Let me buy the game, pre-purchase, and then it's on my machine. It's either on my machine or the transaction's technically not complete, but PlayStation's already taken my money, or Steam's already taken my money, or whatever gray market site has taken my money, and I'm with this code that I've already preloaded.
Right.
And I know preloading doesn't occur 2 months ahead of time, but just walk through with me on this like, at what, is that enough? Is that enough to wash your hands?
I mean, with a specific scenario here.
In general, I mean, just in general, it's like, is putting something out like a day before, is that enough?
I gotta say, well, no, absolutely not. Putting something out a day before. Well, that's the thing. Well, that's not fair.
That's not fair.
To
but
the consumer.
How do you draw a line in the sand, right? How do you set?
Right, you don't, and that's why people go to court, so someone can draw the line for you, because you can't come to a conclusion, right? But
fair enough.
The thing is, for me, right, a year ago, I was watching trailers for this game, and you weren't even able to leave your spaceship, But they said that you would be able to exit your ship and walk on a planet. And I said, ooh, that's interesting, you know what I mean? But there was no multiplayer. And then when I saw the trailer right before release, which was about a week ago, from a week before release is what I'm saying, so 3 weeks ago, I saw a guy walking around a world, and what it reminded me of was Spore. Spore is a game, right? Because you could create your own creatures and stuff. So when I saw the creatures, I'm like, oh, like the game randomly generates these creatures out of whatever it chooses, That's pretty interesting. And he's walking outside the ship. I'm like, oh, so they did what they said they were gonna do. See, that was my take on it because of what I had previously seen. I can see how I'm not surprised by what they created. It doesn't affect me either way because I didn't buy into the game to begin with, so I don't even own it. But I could see what you mean if you came in and you were doing all your research and you were reading about what they were talking about implementing, and you're like, holy shit, this is going to be a sick game that I'm going to be able to play on my PS4 and not have to own a PC, because that's a major thing. It's major to be able to provide a game that normally would have to only be on PC and be able to provide it on a console, you reach a much broader audience, right? But I don't know, man. Like who's really to blame? Is it the developer or the uninformed customer?
I think
And
both are.
working in retail, I'm likely to always blame the customer because customers fucking suck.
Nah. Oh wow, bias. I think there's just a little bit of wrong everywhere. Yeah. I think we as consumers, including myself, especially myself, need to do a better job of truly not pre-ordering things and actually using our money in a method that makes developers and publishers earn that money. Right. Again, I'm including myself in this because I know how hypocritical I am when it comes to this. And I think this might be an example that will hopefully teach people that lesson and reinforce that message to them. I'm pretty sure, like for me, another game, like a game that kind of started solidifying that slowly was like Halo the Master Chief Collection, right? And the giant debacle that game isn't even fixed at this point. And that was, I don't even know, was it $40, $60 that was poorly spent. But yeah, I don't know, man. To me,
and that was 2 Novembers ago, and people are still talking about how much that was like the biggest fuck up.
Oh, and how when I pick up my Xbox One S, that's gonna be the game that comes with it.
Yeah.
That's rubbing salt in the wound, man.
I don't blame you, but from everything that I've said, and how I blame the customer for. Well, I'm not saying I specifically blame the customer in the situation.
You just did though.
But
you just did though, like 2 minutes ago.
Not okay. Depending on the situation, whatever. I'm not taking a side on this. I'm not mad at anybody for feeling however they feel. Everybody has the right to feel however they feel, right? But I put myself in a position where I might be that person, and I know it. You know what I mean? Like I've bought into Star Citizen. Star Citizen has not come out. Star Citizen isn't even beta. It's pre-alpha, I bought into that like 2 and something years ago when the game was already 2 or so years in development. Like I know the situation that some people are in. I understand. Like I can only hope that I am the judge of character that I think that I am.
You hypocrite.
Right
nope.
Decision.
Nope. You're a hypocrite just
no,
like
I'm
me.
Not. No, I'm not.
You are
absolutely.
You are the. Shut up.
I wasn't a hypocrite until you called me a hypocrite, asshole.
Fuck you.
but no.
Let me ask you a question.
The difference is the why I'm not a hypocrite about it is the game that I've been buying into. I've been playing in development the entire way, and I've seen them implement the mechanics and the things that they said that they would do, like over the course of these 2.5 years, the things they said they would do, they're doing. Shut your whore mouth. Liz, shut the fuck up. They do what they say they're gonna do, man, and every step of the way they have a YouTube channel called Reverse the Verse or something like that, where they talk to their audience. They have 10 from the chairman, which is Chris Roberts, which is the guy behind the scenes, who answers 10 questions like every month. There's Bug Smashers, which is you get to watch the guys who are actually working on the game to get rid of all the bugs and like create patches. These guys are invested, and people for the longest time have been like, "Oh, this is vaporware," and they're not helping anybody but themselves. That's bullshit. Like from what I've seen, the people who are working on it really care about what they're putting out. And I don't know, man. I bought into it, and I feel like I made the right decision. And I guess I pre-ordered, right? Like this isn't even what does Steam do? Pre-release? What is it called?
Oh, shit. Fucking called me out on the spot. Fuck you.
That thing that you do before the game comes out. Right?
Early access.
Early access. Right.
You fucking asshat. I'm listening to you rant, and I'm like, and then you're like, oh, so what's this? I'm like, oh, fuck. It's like when you're daydreaming in class and the teacher calls on you.
Gotcha.
Fuck you. But let me ask you one question though. the expectations set was very different, right? Because Star Citizen, from what you make it sound like, or make it seem, the expectation was kind of set that, hey, this is not a complete game. This is going to be slowly, features are slowly going to be implemented. That's kind of the impression you're giving off, though.
But the expectation is much more. Yes, yeah, sure. Like this is.
But
what
they
you're
told
getting,
you it's like going to take you a few years, right?
But yes, yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But when they told you, like when you were reading, right? Yep. At no point did it say at release 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6. Like a million different things are going to be in there. They're essentially telling you.
They did at one point though. That's what I'm getting at. Like when they first started this on Kickstarter, there was a time frame. Like they expected to be done by a certain time that I can't recall at the moment, or maybe I just choose to be like forgetful right now because that time passed. But so that expectation was there from some customers, and some people asked for their money back, and they got it. Like if you ask for your money back in this game, like these they give it to you.
Okay, that's fair. I can support something like that if the end game, the goal, right, changes, or the means to the end do change, and they offer you a way of backing out because it's different than the expectation they had set. That's cool. That's pro-consumer. I'm for that. But it doesn't sound like people are getting refunds for No Man's Sky. It sounds like, hey, this is what we told you was going to happen. Sorry, our project management skills are crap, and we weren't able to get through like any of the stuff we promised. But here's $60. Thanks for your $60. Here's the game we were able to make.
Sure.
Don't let the door hit you where the Lord split you.
Yeah. No, but here's where we're creating parallels where there were none. Like we're talking about two games that parallel in the sense that the expectation was the same, apparently, allegedly, because like you were saying, right? Like you were saying, some people were under the impression that it would be multiplayer, that there would be factions, that there would be this and that, and so on and so forth, right? These expectations are also expected of Star Citizen. Okay, you're supposed to be able to mine,
but the reaction, but the way that the developer reacts to their consumers if they fail to meet the expectations and the consumers react in a certain way, how does the developer react? I'm not different. But I'm not comparing the way that they got to where they got. I'm comparing the response that they gave based on the ultimate final outcome.
Well, here's where they're different though. So Star Citizen is an independent game funded by the gamers, right? They are $120 million in, all on gamer funding. Okay?
I think we're arguing the same point.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
We are. We're not arguing. We are. We're just coming from two different sides of this and meeting in the middle. Okay.
I don't think I ever left your side. I think we were walking down the same hallway to the same direction. You just turned around and started attacking me, you dick.
I'm not though. I'm just saying where there are parallels and where there are not. Like what you were saying is that Star Citizen has given refunds and all that because they are in charge of it. They are in control of what's going on. I cannot say the same for what is it? What are they called again?
Hello Games. Happy Games. Okay, I think that's a fair point. You're speaking more along the lines of there's probably a publisher involved.
Yeah,
there's probably the supply chain is different, so the response can't be equivalent to what.
Right. I'm just trying to be fair.
That's fair. I'll give you that.
To Go Games or
to Go Games, yeah. To Hello Games. Okay, that's fair. I can definitely see your perspective on that. If the supply chain is so involved with a lot of different players, it may not be as easy as Star Citizen giving people their money back. At the same time, though,
the source,
you got to blame someone, though. I mean, at some point that you got to shake the tree. You got to shake the tree.
And I bet right now they're passing the buck around quite a bit.
Oh yeah, inside their own. Well, you should have said that. Well, you do say something. There's probably some conference call or some board meeting that they're all having to kind of go over this PR fiasco. And mind you, it's been 3 weeks, and I don't think I've heard anything about them either offering free DLC in order to phase this. There hasn't even been a response to say, "Hey, we know you guys are pissed."
We're sorry.
And mind you, if I'm wrong, please call me out on this because I want to make sure we put out factual information, and we'll call it out at the beginning of the next show. But it does. I haven't seen anything based on the hours I've spent researching that says, "Hey guys, I know you're pissed because all this cool, amazing stuff we didn't give you isn't in the we didn't make isn't in the game. But if you guys stick around, this is our plan to correct this issue. Here's what we plan on implementing in the next 6 months, year. Kind of like give a timeline as to what your remediation strategy is, right? Mm-hmm. People like information. If you tell them in a year from now, this is what we're gonna do to make things right, and on top of that, we're gonna give it to you for free. Or, I mean, I know people are gonna fucking yell at me for saying, if it comes out as DLC, they'll give you a discount. I mean, at that point, you can go tell them and go fuck themselves. I mean, but if you really want, if you really want to play this game and you honestly, genuinely believe there is potential, maybe you're inclined to pay the DLC. Personally, if they told me, hey man, that game we lied to you about, we'll give you 50% off the DLC, I tell them to go fuck themselves.
Well, okay, how about this? Jump? How about they put out a shit ton of DLCs to make this a perfect game over the course of a year or two, and then make the original game free to download?
You're talking about Destiny?
That's a good idea, right?
Yeah, it's a great idea. It's not like it hasn't been done before. Bungie, what happened? You sold yourself to the devil. And mind you, I think that free game is a free trial, not the free base game itself. Either way, though, I still have a fucking stick up my ass about Vanilla Destiny being essentially a $60 beta. So, Bungie, the next time you develop a game, if it's not Halo, I might not buy it.
So reel it
I'm
back
butthurt.
in.
I'm butthurt like shit. I'm butthurt. And if someone from Bungie is listening to the show, one, welcome. Sorry, we met on such weird circumstances. I'm a big fan. Big fan since big fan 2001. Nope. I'm done with the pandering. You fucked up. And I will tell you, yeah, we can drop the cursing if we want to have like an actual like professional conversation. But I think there is a point to be made in that game was not worth $60, and then on top of that, you release what the game should have been later on.
I never bought into the hype.
We'll leave it there.
Now, okay. So on a lighter note, on the same spectrum, right? Star Citizen.
No. You got me all flustered.
That's why I'm switching gears.
I'm all hot and bothered, man. Fuck this shit. Fuck everything. Fuck everyone, man.
Oh
fuck Star Citizen's long ass update times. We got this fucking fiery.
This rolling downhill. And it's
I got this
flaming pile of
fiery, angry, just Latin fury just coursing through my veins right now. Go on with your Star Citizen.
It's this fucking burrito of death. All right. Well, so Star Citizen, man. Star Citizen, right, is the basically the game that's supposed to save everyone save No Man's Sky from the hatred, right? Like, just get the attention off them and be the next thing that people look forward to and completely forget that No Man's Sky existed, like Halo Master Chief Collection. Star Citizen, during Gamescom this year in Cologne, Germany. They released a 1 hour. Well, they didn't release. It was like during a conference, a press, whatever thing, and they had a 1 hour demo, 1 hour live demo, right? This live demo, and this is where like I get nervous because I watched this 1 hour long live demo that showed us going from our ship, I believe, down to a planet's surface, into a bar at this like city on this planet, talked to a guy, got back on our ship that we had docked before. Like, and in between all of this, you're going from space to planet side. You're taking an elevator, right, which is an actual elevator. It's not hiding a load screen. Like they showed the spaceship you rode in on, the guy who was operating the spaceship, he was following the guy on the elevator. You know what I mean? Like fully fucking fledged multiplayer where everybody can do their own thing. They took back off into space. You saw like flames coming from the front of the ship as it left the atmosphere. Land on a space station that's enormous. Like all of it happened like fluidly, you know? There were no load screens, nothing rendering funny. It was crazy. And to think that at some point when the game releases, none of this actually happens is terrifying to me. But this is literally the Alpha 3.0 demo that they released. So in November, I believe, I don't want to, like, November is their anniversary. They always do things in November. I believe the 3.0 demo, the 3.0 alpha is released. We're at 2.5 right now, or 2. I haven't been keeping up too much, but we're at 2 point something. We're going to be able to do all this stuff. We're going to be able to see this planet side bar and like do all this other crazy shit. Like that's exciting to me. And if this game has done this all the way through this time where they tell you what they're going to give you and then they give it to you in the alpha 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, can they take that away from you? Can they take that?
Yes.
Like I think you lose when that happens, right?
No, you do. Obviously, I was being a dick.
Like you can modify the mechanics to make them work better because obviously it's an alpha and things will change. But you can't take those things away because all hell breaks loose, right?
Well,
like
okay,
we've
so
seen happen.
let me ask you this: what if it came out to like a poll? Since this is a game that you're saying is funded by the community, and the community is what keeps it alive. What if they poll everyone and say, "Hey, feature A."
It's already been done.
It's already been done
many times. Yep.
And are people upset about this?
Yeah,
it works
out. Yep.
Okay, so I think it goes back to how is information being disseminated? Is this just a decision that's being made outright and then just not giving an explanation, or if it's in a scenario like what you explained so far, like just now, then I see nothing wrong with that. I see nothing wrong with taking something out if the community, for the most part, agrees with it. I know there's some people that'll be like, "No, I really like that. Why you take it away?" But
absolutely. And those people
democracy.
end up speaking their mind, and some of these people get refunded. I don't know all the scenarios, but I know a lot of people have left happy. They've been like, all right, well, it wasn't what I expected. It's not what I wanted. I want my money back, and they gave it to me, so I'm not too mad. I'm just upset it's not what I wanted or what I expected in the time frame that I expected. But let me put this into perspective though. So like $120 million have been raised by this game, and the way they raise it, for people who don't know, is that they have ships on sale on their website that some of them you can fly, some of them are ready to fly, some of them you can only see in the hangar that
some of them you spend $400 on.
Some of them you can aren't even ready
I
yet.
got you completely off your. You're completely off now. I shoved you off your fucking soapbox.
Fuck you, Jump. Fuck you. You must shove a pop vinyl up your ass.
How do you know I haven't already?
Oh man, I lost track of my fucking. I fucking hate you.
You were talking about the store that they have that you can buy. You can buy your
$20 million earned by buying these ships and all this other stuff, right? Now, with the $120 million that have been raised by like 1.2 million people, I believe it is. That fucking like quick math, like that I did this afternoon when I was on lunch at work, is like $80 paid on average, right? $80 paid on average per consumer is $20 over the price of a game in the United States, right? It is, I believe, the same price as a game in Canada. It is $10 cheaper than a game in Australia. So people, on average, people have spent the amount that they would spend on a AAA title that they pre-order. So that's a lot of money, right? Like for a game that there isn't even a time for it to be released. I get nervous like even thinking about it and thinking of what could happen from now until then. That this thing would crumble. Like this castle would just fall apart. Like what would happen? Like $120 million from people who consumers, you know? All this money isn't like sitting in a bank somewhere by itself. It's been used to pay designers and artists.
But I think
and
that's the risk
actors.
with early access games, though.
Yeah.
That's just the genuine risk you take.
Yeah. Ugh. Got me all fucked up. I'm done. We're gonna get on some Star Citizen later though. Like so you can actually see what's going on. Because I talk about this a whole lot, but you're not really in the know about it. Like
no,
thing.
because it wanted me to update for like
for
1
3
hour.
hours.
And
that was just the
absolutely
update.
insane.
How long did it take to download the game? Do you remember?
I don't even know.
A long time.
It took way too long. I didn't even touch it. You made me spend $45. You know, one tenth of what you spent.
Oh my god, you fucking. Let me live this down.
No, you're.
You know what? This is just payback for the pop vinyls, right?
Yeah, it is. It is every time I say, "Hey, man, look at this really cool one I saw." Oh, you're always spending your money, Jump. Always spending your money. Give me shit about it, man. We're having a fucking family fight, a family dispute live on the show. Oh man. Oh well. Moving on.
I'm super excited about this fucking game. Is moving on.
Yes.
Like, don't make me talk about the bad sides anymore, right?
Oh,
burn me back up, man.
You want? let's turn this party into a roller coaster, right? So we had our downs, we had our uppers. Let's go a little down, maybe a small little peak somewhere along the lines, and talk a little Titanfall. Titanfall.
Okay. I didn't hate it.
Didn't hate it either.
No.
Rough transition. Either way. Well, I guess that kind of also explains the shift between Titanfall 1 and Titanfall 2. It was a bit of a rough transition for a lot of people. Titanfall I feel like
1... we've been really critical, man.
Hey, man.
Like, are we being critical about this?
Titanfall 2?
Yeah.
I think I genuinely think there are areas where people had very good points, and I'm actually very happy to see that Respawn is responding to a lot of the criticism. Yeah. Okay. So Titanfall 1, for those who never got a chance to play it, I think it's like $15 on the Xbox store. I don't know if PlayStation didn't have it, did it? I don't fucking remember.
Yeah, they did.
They did?
No, they did. My cousin has it, and he told me he was playing it on the weekend.
Either way.
Yeah. It comes back this weekend, by the way.
What does?
The tech demo. I think you can play it again this weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, Titanfall 1, I thought was, from a gameplay standpoint, just the shooting mechanics and just the bare basics, it was actually a really good game. I think it was a really good early title for the Xbox One. It ultimately died mostly because it just didn't have enough content, as with most games this generation. Didn't have enough content at launch to kind of justify people sticking around long enough. But if you ended up playing the game like a year or so after the game came out, you hear a lot of positive reviews. It was a good game. I mean, don't get me wrong, I traded mine in because I was one of those people who hopped on it day 1 or maybe like day 3 or whatever, and didn't see enough to keep me there for a long period of time. But it was a good game. So people came into the tech test, which is being dubbed a pre-alpha. We'll see. I know Jay has his reservations about it actually being a pre-alpha.
Yeah.
I think it looks really nice for a pre-alpha. Exactly.
It's actually just look pretty finished for a pre-alpha.
What were you saying? The human who we see as we jump out of the ship?
Oh yeah, I'll put money on the fact that guy's gonna look exactly the same when it comes out. I put money on that. Maybe not for the PS4 Neo or whatever it is, but it's gonna be the same everywhere else. Maybe he'll have a little more sweat on himself on the PS4. Go ahead.
Either way, people came into this with relatively high expectations, just hoping that they could take a relatively good game and take it the next step further. Just from that, the E3 trailer alone, a lot of people were like, "Yo, they are gonna try and take this to the next level with like the grappling hook and like the new grenades and like all this hype around it."
Maybe it's because I'm a pessimist. Maybe it's me. Like, I never get too excited about anything. Like, I'm always pretty level-headed.
You're jaded. That's the problem. You've played enough games that you're jaded.
That's probably it.
Like, some of the games we love have kind of taken a bit of a nosedive. Halo for me, Rainbow Six, right, compared to what we saw in E3 versus what we got. We love the game, and we
enjoy it to this day. Yeah.
When they brought out the most recent update, what was it called? Heavy Rain? No, it's not Heavy Rain.
It is Heavy Rain. Right?
It's Heavy Rain.
Brazilian one.
Yeah. They brought out Heavy Rain. We're like, wow, this is what the game should have been a year ago
when it came out. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. So I think you're well within your right to be very critical and to kind of essentially not really trust anyone. With that said,
and I don't understand why people are so trusting. I don't understand. It's just that this is what I mean by informed buyer and uninformed buyers. You don't go out and make an investment without doing your research first, right?
I would say my only counter argument to that is this is a tech test, right? No one's actually put any money down. This is free.
Exactly.
So
this is your research, is what I'm getting at.
People are coming into this with high expectations and
you should.
Well, no, let's think. I came into the tech test with high expectations because this is where I'm going to test it. This is where I'm going to see if this is actually something I want to play.
Well, that's not fair. That's not fair.
Why, though?
Well, because the mechanics are in place, right? We know this won't change. The mechanics that are there.
That's what I care most about, though. The frills are unimportant to me. Game types are important to me in that there should be a big variety so the game doesn't become stale. I care about the base core gameplay mechanics. Is this something I really want? And having the opportunity to play that ahead of time, I came in with expectations of, hey, this is going to build on what was done before. And it did in terms of the grappling and having that verticality.
I enjoyed the mechanics. Of all things, I enjoyed the mechanics, but I felt that there was something missing. And I'm
that's
not
what we'll get into.
I'm not just going to count the game out because I feel like there's time to improve on that. You know what I mean?
So this is what I'm talking about, right?
Yep.
In the sense that I agree with you. There were areas that were lacking, specifically for me, the Titans themselves. In the first one, they were a very pivotal point of the gameplay. I think they went off a meter just based off a period of time. You end up getting your Titan based on, then essentially you have these multi-layered kind of combat situations where, you're going up against a pilot, he calls in his Titan, then you're trying to rodeo the Titan, get him out of his Titan. Like I
enjoyed the Titans much more before than I did in the tech demo.
Well, do you know why?
What
made it different?
They felt more fluid. Like they felt like they were a major part of the game. Like I jump in one, and I felt the way that you should feel in a mech. You felt pretty invincible. You know what I mean? You were badass. You were having mech battles that felt like mech battles. With this game, the Titanfall tech demo 2 for 2, it didn't feel that way. So I was in fights with other Titans, and it didn't feel right.
Really?
Yeah.
That wasn't my complaint with Titans. I think the Titans are fine. I think they're actually somewhat similar, aside from the battery pack and pilot situation that we might get into. Yeah. I thought they played relatively well. It's just the fact that you don't get them enough. In the Titanfall 2 tech test, do you know what
all the time in Titanfall 1?
Do you know what determines you getting a Titan?
No, I have no idea.
It's kill based. Not score based, kill based.
Oh, is it?
So when you play the they're gonna kill me if Respawn, the guys from Respawn, if you're listening, I'm sorry. The kill confirm style game. What is it? Bounty Hunt?
Bounty Hunt, yeah.
Yes, Bounty Hunt. All right. So apologies for making a reference to your ex-employer. When you play Bounty Hunt, right? The focus is, yes, you want to kill people, but at the same time, you want to pick up whatever they drop in the bounty, right, and then go take it back to the bank, right?
Right.
And given that there is no means of raising your bar when you actually complete the objective, and you'll have people who actually play the game the game the way it's supposed to be played and try and meet the objectives. You saw this shift not away from killing, because killing is still necessary, but it's not the main focus, right? It's like, I gotta kill, but I gotta like stay reserved and make sure I don't lose this $500 bounty, so I gotta be a little more slick and gotta like think twice about, do I really want to attack this guy? So essentially the likelihood for a Titan to show up, it starts getting reduced.
Yeah, it should definitely be point based. It should be based on my than just your kills, because more than just kills factor into the victory in the game.
Well, exactly. So that's what led to that situation leads into my whole comment when we were playing is, it seems barren. It seems like there isn't enough going on. Like, these maps are too big for for the 5-on-5 we were having. And it's because of that, in my opinion. It's because of the fact that it's kill based, and if you're trying to play the objective, you're not going to get kills, you're not going to get enough Titans, and then you have all this empty space.
Another issue I had is that the time to kill is way too large. The gap between distance. Yeah, no. Like if you are at kill range is a millisecond, okay? But if you're anywhere outside of that range...
Okay, this is what you mean. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, if you're anywhere outside of that kill range, it is all over the place. You never know when you're going to drop this guy. I feel like it's in actual combat, it should be a little more, I don't know, man. Like there's no reaction time, like there's no, I never felt reaction time unless I was playing with someone else and they were like, like you were, oh, look to your left, or he's behind you, he's in the creek or some shit like that. You know what I mean? If they were behind you, man, or if they were next to you and you just jumped up on top of something, you were done. You were gone. It was way too quick, and I don't know. It didn't feel comfortable to me. That didn't feel right. Time to kill was way too fast.
Okay, I agree with you. When you said it took too long, I thought you meant time to kill in the kill range was too long. I was like, no. If anything, they went in the completely wrong direction.
No, I meant that the gap between
short range and long range is like, you can either kill really quickly, or it's going to take like a clip and a half to like kill from long range. I get your point now. I would agree with you in terms of when you're in kill range, or within you're like a medium to short distance, and you don't have an opportunity to turn back around to fight back. That bothers me. I don't like the Call of Duty time to kill of like, hey, I see you first, you're dead. It's fuck you. Nah, I don't like that. I really appreciated in the first one that it was a little more skewed to like Halo's time to kill, where it's like, hey, if I get shot from behind, I still have an opportunity to turn around and embarrass you.
Yeah, especially considering that I'm not even human. I'm like a robot.
I'm a robot. Yeah, which I have no idea what the decision is for that, but maybe the single player will explain that.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. The time to kill sucks. I really hope they fix that.
I mean, we'll be able to test it again this weekend and see how we feel about it then. Other than that, though, a game that will never let me down, right? Just setting up for failure, is South Park: The Fractured Butthole.
Ooh, before we move on to that, though, let me touch on a few more things for Titanfall, just to make sure we put everything out there. I'll run through it really quickly. Last gripe I had was the battery pack or core versus like actually, getting a rodeo on, rodeoing. Is that a word? Riding. There you go. The word is riding. Riding the Titan and actually shooting the pilot out to force him out versus having to pull out this core. I personally would prefer to shoot out a pilot. But in terms of the changes that are coming, right? One, the kill-based system is going to be tweaked to allow players to fill their Titan gauge over time. So it'll kind of be a hybrid of this new kill system where you'll get like a little boost if you kill more, but at the same time you still have a timer. So hopefully that'll bring a lot more of the Titans out during the game. And then 2, Respawn has come out and said that they're going to try and work on increasing the mobility on the ground as well as the mobility of the Titan. So maybe kind of your point where maybe you feel that they're maybe a little too clunky or maybe a little bit smoother than the first one. they've recognized that there's something to improve there, and they're going to try and improve. And so I'm actually really happy that the response from Respawn has been more than just, hey, we're trying to overload our servers and make sure we're good for release. It's also, hey, you guys are giving us suggestions on how we can improve the actual gameplay, and we're
your
looking
feedback is helping. Yep.
Exactly. So shout out to Respawn. Good work, guys. I really appreciate seeing a development team really take into consideration what the fans want. Onto South Park.
Yeah,
floor is yours.
Fun. I'm yet to be convinced because that's who I am. Anyway,
take Jay.
South Park, bro. Oh man, like I can never be mad at that game. Like South Park: Stick of Truth was amazing, and it's just what it is. Like it's South Park. If you don't enjoy South Park, you might as well not buy the game because you're not gonna get the references. It's not gonna be fun for you. You're not gonna really get what's going on or why.
If you don't
funny.
like South Park, I want you to fight me.
Fight me. Just let's go. For some reason, Jump wants to fight people now. No, like it's a great show. I fucking love that show. I have seen it many times. Love all the references that they throw into the game. Like this is a game that people fucking, the makers actually care about it. Like the creators of this fucking show, they fucking care. Like I feel like it's just an episode that I can play out over the course of days, you know?
Yep.
And it's so fucking fun. Well, I'm talking Stick of Truth. It was so fun. And I saw like a 20-minute demo of it recently during Gamescom where it kind of did the same demo portion as E3 did, but there were a few extra things now. And, you know, we got to see a little bit more on the mechanics and a whole bunch of like other little things like different characters and different moves and different conversations that they were having, which is just more of what I expected. It was more of South Park. Like if you love South Park, you're just gonna love the game. One thing that they did that was pretty interesting, Jump, which I read like not too long before we started the podcast. You know, you got like Oculus Rift and like all these VR headsets.
The Noculus Rift?
The Noculus Rift. Yo, why is that so perfect for South Park? Why
it just makes
so much sense?
It's what they do, man. It's satire. It's perfect.
It's awesome, man. It's awesome. Like engineers were developing this thing for months. Just to get you to smell a fart, like a simulated fart. Man,
what a time to be alive.
So pumped for that game. I'm so pumped.
That game's gonna be good.
Oh man, dude.
I don't know, but remember, guys, do your research before you go out and pre-order. But if it's
no, just
like
take my word for it. Go ahead and buy
it. Oh shit! Contradictions. Gonna get eaten alive.
Fucking hypocrite. That Jay's such a fucking hypocrite.
Fuck that
such
guy.
A piece of shit.
While you're getting all wet for Stick of Truth. Fractured Butthole.
Fractured Butthole.
Butthole. That's what I said. Butthole. No, Butthole.
Yeah.
What's the release date on that? It's December, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So holiday 2016. Keep your ears and eyes out. Make sure to do some research a few days before the game comes out. See if you get any reviews. Speaking of a few days out, we're a few days out from the next expansion for Fallout 4, Nuka World. So release is August 30th.
And that's it for our episode. We ain't got no more time.
Yeah, fuck you. Fuck you.
You've been so excited just for this. Like,
this
is what you wanted to get to.
I have so many notes.
Well,
I
feel
like Drew,
haven't heard anything of it. Like, once you told me about it, I scanned the 1 hour developer demo in about 30 seconds flat, so I feel like I got the gist of it. Maybe I can tell you a thing or two.
Sure,
we'll see.
Sure. Fucking asshole.
I'm just over here drinking my Red Bull, dog. Yo, Red Bull, shout out to you.
Alright, so Nuka World releases August 30th on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Bethesda pretty much did a developer walkthrough earlier this week, which thankfully they didn't give out any spoilers. WB, if you're listening right now, take notes and model your trailers over this walkthrough. Do not give away the big reveal. I'm still upset about this shit. Mind you, I'm looking at both my Superman and Batman pop vinyls. This is what's bird that comment. So they did a developer walkthrough earlier this week. No spoilers. It was actually a really good watch. If you're interested, make sure to check it out on their YouTube page. Essentially, they pretty much started from the beginning. So as with any Fallout DLC, there's a radio signal that you need to tune into, and they'll be like, hey, something Nuka World. They're like, oh, hey guys, there's this thing on the outside of the map that you should go to because it wasn't there before, but it is now. And you're like, okay, cool, I'll go. So yeah, so you end up making your way out to, actually you make your way out of the map and find yourself to this particular transit center that'll let you take the monorail that takes you outside of the
load screen, and now we're in another place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So typical Fallout DLC. It was very interesting. They were discussing how raiders play a very pivotal part in this DLC. Even starting from the beginning, when you actually first enter Nuka World, you go through this thing called the Gauntlet, which is essentially a test area where you kind of prove your skills, and the raiders are like throwing all these traps at you, and you kind of need to get your way through to get to the actual Nuka World.
So just before you continue, so I could be on the same page, Nuka World is where? Do we know?
It's still in the Commonwealth, but when you open up your Pip-Boy, you have your map, and it's like it has like the little dashes on the border to say, hey, you can't go. Is it
north, south, east, or west?
It's west.
Oh, it's west.
It's
okay.
West.
So it's kind of going towards New York, right? Because this is Massachusetts, right?
True.
So we're going towards upstate New York.
I guess. I don't think you actually leave Massachusetts.
Oh, Western Mass?
Yeah.
They ain't shit out there but cows, bro.
Shit out there but cows.
I'll tell you right now.
Facts. So yeah, so you have to go through the Gauntlet. Essentially, they were trying to explain that it's essentially a way to for you to prove your skills. As the guy who was playing was going through the Gauntlet, we were already being exposed to new creatures. So they got this new thing called the Rad Rat, which is essentially a giant rat. Maybe it is New York. Got big ass rats.
Right. Big ass rats. Next thing you know, they're gonna be fucking teenage Ninja Turtles.
They got fucking big ass pigeons and shit.
Yeah. Oh man, we haven't seen a turtle. Go ahead, man. It's a radiated turtle. That'd be pretty cool.
Yo, that'd be pretty dope.
Oh man, what if one of your armors was a turtle shell? Oh dude,
shit.
Get me
Shit.
Bethesda
I want a shield. I want a shield that's a giant irradiated turtle shell.
Oh my god. Yo, what if you could shoot shells out of the junk jet? Oh
shit, we're getting all fucking Mario Kart out here.
Word.
Yo.
I can smell a mod coming right now.
Oh no, you know what we need? Shit, what's the giant fist thing with the fucking what are those concrete bars?
Bro,
was it rhubarb?
What sex toys are you talking about right now?
What's it called? What are those metal things that you put in concrete?
The power fist?
Yes, the power fist. But what's the actual metal thing called? In real life?
Jackhammer?
No. You know when you have concrete, like a concrete pillar, and it has that metal that they put inside of it. What are they called? Thank you. That's what. Yes, the power fist. Long-winded explanation for the power fist.
Right.
Snapping turtle. It's the skull of a snapping turtle.
Oh. Yo, let's talk to Bethesda. Yo, Bethesda, if you're listening.
They're right down the road, man. They're right down the road. I'm about to just go knock. Hey guys.
Guys, listen. Jump has literally been sliding a note under the door for the past 3 years.
Turtles. Myler Queen, my idea.
Myler Queen, my idea. He had the suction cup idea before the kid tried to climb Trump Tower. Okay.
Yep. I was just sliding them notes.
Yep.
But yeah, so you saw the Rad Rat. They had ants. Fucking, back in New Vegas.
Yeah.
The
fire
ants. Yep.
That wasn't just New Vegas, Jump. That was in Fallout 3.
Was it 3? I remember there being ants in 3.
Yeah.
Where?
They were fire ants.
I'm fact checking you.
They were after the supermarket that you ran into at the very beginning of the game.
You have no fucking idea. You're making this up, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
Actually, I think you're right though. There was a little kid. Yep. He was in the little.
Right,
he was hiding inside
you piece of shit. And don't you remember the ant outfit that you could get later on from the fucking guy who lived with ants?
I don't remember that. I actually
Shut the fuck up. Trying to fucking push my knowledge. I fucking know shit.
I'm smart. I'm smart. But yeah, they also have ant swarms now. Not bee
Ooh,
swarms,
what
like
is
it's a
that?
fucking just a swarm of ants, flying ants.
Ah,
So
interesting.
fun little new enemy there. I don't know if you've seen the trailer, but they had hinted at there being aliens. Kind of a half truth. They're aliens. But I'm hoping it just means more alien blaster ammo.
Yeah. Like
Because
I wish they still just had like I want to see a spaceship just fly by, pick up a rad cow. What are those called? The radiated cows.
yeah,
Just take one and go.
no, they're called the Brahmins.
Yeah, the Brahmin. Right. I just want to see it take one and just go. Like that. Just seeing that would make my day.
That would be pretty funny.
I'm just minding my own business. All of a sudden, a Brahmin gets taken in a spaceship and it's gone. And you're like,
Did you
but
get
why?
Did you get the alien blaster in Fallout 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw the ship. I followed to the crash site. All that shit.
Yep. So along with new creatures, we saw a few new weapons. There's this thing called the Kami Whacker,
Ooh.
which is just a melee weapon. Looks like, you ever played Whack-A-Mole?
Yeah.
Think of one of those.
Ah.
I want to see a Nuka-Cola inspired gun. Like, I want a gun that just shoots Nuka-Cola. Like, you have a
Ooh.
tank of Nuka-Cola on your back, and it just shoots. It just shoots
Oh man.
irradiated
And,
Nuka-Cola.
yeah. No, and if you use quantum Nuka-Cola as the ammunition, it's
Yeah.
like stronger. Ooh.
I guess
So
I would-
basically, we are synthesizing Nuka-Cola to make it a weapon.
Fuck it.
Let's fucking do it.
Make a
Yo,
mod. Make a
Bethesda-
mod.
Bethesda, take fucking notes here, man.
Yeah, let's talk. But yeah, so once you actually got into Nuka World, they started talking a lot about the different factions. So there will be 3 different factions as far as we know so far. 3 different Raiders factions: the Pack, the Disciples, and the Operators. So I'm interested to see what exactly they're gonna have us do, because they were talking about introducing some kind of karma-based system for this DLC to kind of bring back some of the old stuff from Fallout 3 and New Vegas.
Some new perks it would relate to. Is that
Maybe.
possible? I mean, it's all that I could think of as far as Fallout goes. How that would be implemented, or why it would even matter? Because to what end? You know what I mean?
True, but I think you might be right. It might be like, if you're Jesus, you get this perk. If you're Satan, you're this perk, right?
Yeah.
True.
Because to implement it now, it really won't affect the gameplay that you had.
Yeah, I think it's
throughout
going to be
the game.
isolated to just Nuka World, which I think would make
Right.
sense. So, the Disciples, I mean, if you want to read into that, that could be like the good Raider faction.
Or
Right, you said
the
with them.
Zealots.
That's
Right.
Yeah, they're called the Disciples, bro.
All
right. Other than that, they showed a map of Nuka World, and they kind of had explained what little part that they had traveled in the walkthrough. It was a really small part. So when you look at the Nuka World map, they have a couple different places. There's Nuka Town, USA. There's Kitty Kingdom. There's the Galactic Zone, Dry Rock Gulch, the Safari Adventure, the World of Refreshment. Like, it seems big, and everything that we watched in that hour took place in Nuka Town.
Okay.
So I was very excited to see that, and we had not even like looked at any missions or anything. I'm hoping it's not like another Far Harbor situation, because Far Harbor was pretty substantial in size, but there wasn't really much to do once you kind of beat it. So I'm hoping there's a lot more involved now that you have these 3 factions. I hope it's pretty layered. Other than that, they kind of talk through this one NPC, Nira. Apparently, I don't know if you've seen the trailer, but she's the Nuka-Cola bottle, the animatronic Nuka-Cola bottle you can talk to. She apparently
spoilers.
apparently has a split personality. She's been tampered with by someone. She's both helpful and mean. We'll learn more about her.
Oh, she's like a Sour Patch Kid. What? Okay, fine.
Moving on.
Fuck you.
The last thing that they spent a lot of time going over was the Nuka-Cade. Can you take a guess what the Nuka-Cade is?
Nuka-Cade? A nuke grenade? A Nuka grenade?
Nope.
No?
A Nuka-Cola
Nuka-Cade?
inspired arcade.
I was gonna say a Nuka-Cola barricade?
So apparently they give the developers time to just kind of come up with shit, right?
Yeah.
And the result of that was essentially an arcade where you can play skee ball, you can play basketball. Like, think of Dave and Buster's. That's what you have, and you take the pre-war money that you've been collecting, you trade it in for tokens, and you use those tokens to play the games and then earn tickets, and then those tickets can be traded in for something. I'm thinking there's a special gun.
Why can't you just use the pre-war money? Okay, why do you need to use pre-war money to buy tokens to get tickets? Why?
Because it was the arcade was built before the bombs dropped. So how do you when you go to Chuck E. Cheese, how do you get your tokens? You don't just put money into an arcade machine, you dumbass. You ever been to? Do you even arcade, bro?
Oh my
or
God.
Sorry, do you even Chuck E. Cheese or Dave and Buster's, bro? Because arcades technically let you take quarters. Fair enough.
I will kill you in not skee ball. What's the other one? In table hockey, fucking air hockey.
Air hockey?
I will murder
Table
you
hockey?
in air hockey.
I'll murder you with the air hockey table.
I'm the best.
All right, whatever you say, guy. At New York Comic Con live, we're gonna find an air hockey place just to fucking. We'll put it up on the YouTube page. So I'm hoping that the tickets are for something special. I'm hoping there's like a special gun, maybe that Nuka Cola inspired gun we were talking about. Maybe that's behind the ticket wall. Or I end up getting like an eraser pack because I only got like 4 tickets. God, God damn it!
Yeah.
Fucking Chuck E.
Like a bag
Cheese.
of peanuts.
Fuck them. Fuck.
You get a slinky.
God, it's all bent out of shape already.
There's a Nintendo 64 on the fucking wall that costs 7,500,000 tickets.
It's not even a number.
Shut your mouth. The idea is that it's an unreasonable amount. All right.
Fuck you too.
The worst.
And a pro tip: you can cheat. So in skee ball, you can just pick up the ball and drop it into the 100 hole. So if you want to cheat, by all means.
Because who's gonna stop you, right?
Yeah, right. Get off the skee ball. Oh my God, who is that? Yeah, but that's it. I mean, for the most part, I'm really excited. I'm hoping that this last one is a really good one, because when I look back to the season pass and when I look back to what all the DLC has been, it definitely has been the weaker of the 3. I think Fallout 3 and New Vegas definitely had better DLC expansions in terms of progressing the story. Obviously Fallout 4 introduced a lot more in terms of the settlement building, so you can't really compare it to anything. It does beat 3 and New Vegas as it relates to that, because there just really isn't anything to compare. But pretty excited.
Bro, I still haven't found my son.
Have you beat the game yet?
I've been busy, bro.
Did you beat the game?
No, not yet.
Oh God. You know how it ends, right?
Yeah, at some point. Eventually. Not for me, though.
Jesus Christ.
My son. Oh, yeah, my son. I forgot. I'm going to run back that way.
Oh, God, I've been...
something else.
All these potatoes. I have so many potatoes to take care of. What do I do?
Right.
They need water.
Gotta plant more melons. I forgot about the melons.
Oh, shit. No, not the melons.
I don't have any corn. I can't make adhesive.
No, not even. Man, fuck my settlers, dude. Ungrateful motherfuckers. We need beds. All right, here's a sleeping bag. I want one with a frame. Motherfucker. There is a limited.
What we live in right now?
There is a limited number of resources. One can only make so many frames.
Oh man. I could see how people would be excited for this one. Like it's looking pretty interesting.
It does look
From
really
what I saw
interesting.
in 30 seconds, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
As long as they implement that turtle shell shooting gun, man. Oh wait, that was us.
That was us. Reach out, Bethesda. We got you. We got you on the ideas. But if you do want to reach out, yeah, that's right. Transitioning to the closing of the show. If you do want to reach out, remember, you can always find us at on Twitter at PvE Podcast. Questions and comments can always either be sent to the Twitter handle or askpve@gmail.com. Share us with your friends. We're on iTunes. We have our RSS link on playerverseverything.net. We're on Overcast, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play. We're on YouTube. Pretty much, look for us, Player versus Everything or PvE Podcast. Either one should bring up our show. So share it with your friends. Let us know your thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah, do that stuff.
Yeah, do all that stuff.
Do it hard. Do it.
Sorry,
good.
I'm starting to crash right now. I'm tired.
I gotta tell you right now, before we close out, I was hard on my shit Star Citizen. I fucking love that game. All right, you got me second guessing myself with all this No Man's Sky talk. Game's fucking incredible. The demo was fucking amazing. Everything worked great. There was only one glitch. Even matter because everything else was awesome. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. Closing argument.
Sounds good. Also, big shout out to all you guys. Thank you very much for all the support these last few episodes. Definitely seen a increase in viewership. So once again, really appreciate that. Really appreciate you guys sharing the show with your friends. And until next time, I'm Jumpy. He's Jay, and he's a hypocrite. Peace.
Peace. Fuck you, Jump.